In the heart of a bustling American high school where lockers slam like thunder and whispers cut deeper than knives, one shy girl's ordinary day explodes into a nightmare she never forget, dragged into the shadows by merciless bullies. For fate to crackle through the airwaves and swing open a door to unimaginable justice. If that gripped you right from the start, smash that subscribe button now and ring the bell. Join our community of thrill seekers across the USA for more edge of your seat stories that hit close to home. Emily Harper had always been the invisible girl at Westfield High, sprawling campus in suburban Ohio where football reigned supreme and social hierarchies were as rigid as the school's outdated dress code. At 16, she blended into the beige walls, her oversized hoodies and downcast eyes serving as armor against the world. Her days were a monotonous blur of advanced math classes, where she excelled quietly, lunch periods spent in the library's farthest corner, nose buried in fantasy novels that transported her far from the taunts of her peers. But on that crisp autumn morning in September, everything changed. It started innocently enough. Emily was hurrying down the crowded hallway, her backpack slung over one shoulder, clutching a binder filled with meticulously organized notes. She didn't notice the group of girls led by Vanessa Klein, the queen bee of the junior class. Vanessa, with her perfectly highlighted hair and designer jeans, ruled the school through a mix of charm and cruelty. Her entourage, Samantha, the gossipy sidekick, and Brooke, the muscle with a penchant for shoving, trailed behind her like loyal shadows. Asterisk, as Emily rounded the corner near the girls' bathroom. She accidentally bumped into Vanessa's shoulder. The collision was minor, barely a brush, but Vanessa spun around with exaggerated fury. "Watch where you're going, freak," she snarled, her voice echoing off the lockers. Emily mumbled an apology, her cheeks flushing red, but it was too late. Vanessa's eyes narrowed, sensing weakness like a shark smells blood. "Oh, it's the mute mouse. Girls, I think she needs a lesson in manners." Before Emily could react, Samantha grabbed her arm and Brooke seized the other. They dragged her toward the bathroom door, Emily's sneakers squeaking in protest against the linoleum floor. Panic surged through her as she struggled weakly, her voice a whisper. "Please, let me go." But the hallway was emptying for class, and no one intervened. Bystanders averted their eyes, whispering among themselves. The bathroom door slammed shut behind them, the fluorescent lights buzzing overhead like angry hornets. Vanessa leaned against the sinks, arms crossed, a smirk playing on her lips. "You think you can just bump into me like that? It's time to wash that attitude off your face." Samantha rifled through Emily's backpack, tossing books and papers onto the damp floor. Brooke pinned Emily against the wall, her grip bruising. Emily's mind raced. She wasn't just shy. She was an orphan, living with her aunt in a modest trailer park on the edge of town. Her parents had died in a car accident when she was 10, leaving her with a stutter that only emerged under stress and a deep-seated fear of confrontation. But buried beneath that fear was a spark of quiet intelligence honed by years of solitude and observation. As Vanessa advanced, twisting the faucet to full blast, intending to douse Emily in cold water, a strange sound pierced the air. Radios crackled, not from inside the bathroom, but faintly through the walls. Emily froze, her ears straining. It sounded like walkie-talkies, the kind security guards carried. But Westfield High's security was a joke, one overweight guard who spent most days napping in his office. The door swung open with a bang, and in stormed Principal Hargrove, flanked by 2 police officers. Their radios were indeed crackling, dispatching codes that Emily couldn't decipher. Vanessa's face drained of color. "What the step away from the girl?" one officer commanded, his hand on his holster. Brooke released Emily, who slid to the floor, trembling. Samantha dropped the backpack, papers scattering like leaves. Principal Hargrove, a stern woman in her 50s with a no-nonsense bun, glared at the bullies. "Vanessa Klein, Samantha Reed, Brooke Tanner, you're coming with me." Now, asterisk as the officers escorted the girls out, Emily sat there, bewildered. How had they known? She hadn't screamed. No one had seen. It wasn't until later in the principal's office that the truth began to unravel. Emily was ushered in after the bullies had been questioned. Hargrove sat behind her desk, a file open before her. Emily, I need to ask you something. Have you been experiencing bullying for a while? Emily nodded hesitantly, her stutter emerging. Yes, ma'am. Ah! But how did you know about today? Hargrove sighed. We received an anonymous tip, call to the school's hotline detailing exactly what was happening in real time. The caller mentioned radios said they heard crackling, like interference, but that's beside the point. The police were already on campus for a routine drill when the call came in. An anonymous tip. Emily's mind whirled. Who could it be? She had no friends, no allies. As she left the office, suspended classes buzzing around her. She noticed a boy lingering in the hallway, Jake Ramirez, the tech whiz from her computer science class. He was fiddling with a small device, something that looked like a homemade radio scanner. Their eyes met, and he quickly shoved it into his pocket, offering a shy smile before disappearing into the crowd. That afternoon, Emily walked home alone, the trailer park's gravel crunching under her feet. Her Aunt Linda, a waitress at the local diner, was pulling a double shift, so the place was empty. Emily collapsed on her bed, replaying the events. The drag to the bathroom, the crackling radios, the swinging door. It felt like a dream war, a setup. The next day at school, whispers followed Emily like a shadow. Vanessa and her crew were suspended for a week, but the rumor mill churned. Some said Emily had ratted them out. Others claimed it was a prank gone wrong. Emily kept her head down, but during lunch, Jake approached her table in the library. Hey, Emily, he said softly, sliding into the seat across from her. Jake was lanky, with messy dark hair and glasses that perpetually slid down his nose. He was known as the school's gadget guy, always tinkering with electronics in the AV club. She replied, wary. About yesterday. I saw what happened. Well, sort of. Emily's eyes widened. You called the tip line? Jake glanced around, lowering his voice. Not exactly. Listen, this might sound crazy, but I've been working on a project, surveillance system for the school. Hidden mics in the hallways, tied to a radio frequency scanner. I picked up the audio from the bathroom, your voice, their threats. I hacked the principal's line and sent the alert. Emily stared at him. Why? Why help me? Jake shrugged. Because I've been there. Bullied. Last year, for being the nerd, I built this to protect people like us. But keep it secret, okay? If they find out, I'm toast. A tentative alliance formed. Emily, with her sharp mind, began assisting Jake in refining his tech. They met after school in the AV room, soldering circuits and coding algorithms. First time, Emily felt seen not as the shy girl, but as someone capable. But twists lurked. Vanessa returned from suspension with a vengeance. She cornered Emily in the parking lot one evening, her eyes blazing. You think you're safe now, Mouse? I know it was you who snitched. My dad's a cop, you'll find out. Emily's heart pounded, but she held her ground. I didn't snitch. Leave me alone. Vanessa laughed. Oh, this isn't over. That night, Emily's trailer was egged, windows smeared with insults. Aunt Linda called the police. But no proof linked it to Vanessa. Jake's system picked up more chatter. Vanessa plotting revenge, something bigger. She's talking about a party this weekend, Jake said, showing Emily the transcripts. Wants to lure you there, humiliate you in front of everyone. Emily's fear morphed into determination. We need to stop her.
For good.
They devised a plan. Emily would pretend to accept an invitation to the party at Vanessa's mansion-like home on the wealthy side of town. Jake would rig hidden cameras and mics feeding Liv to his scanner. If things went south, they'd alert authorities anonymously. The party was a whirlwind of booming music, red Solo cups, and teenage chaos. Emily arrived, dressed in her best jeans and a simple top, feeling out of place among the cheering crowd. Vanessa greeted her with fake sweetness. Glad you came, Emily. Let's bury the hatchet. But as the night wore on, Vanessa's true colors emerged. She spiked Emily's drink, Emily noticed the fizz and poured it out secretly, and tried to drag her upstairs for a makeover. That involved cutting her hair and posting videos online. Just as Brooke grabbed Emily's arm again, radios crackled this. Time from Jake's device hidden in Emily's bag. He was outside, monitoring. He sent a burst signal, jamming nearby phones and alerting the police via a spoofed call. The front door swung open minutes later, officers flooding in, parties over. We've got reports of underage drinking and assault. Chaos ensued. Vanessa was caught red-handed with evidence from Jake's feeds, which he anonymously emailed to the principal. But here's the first twist. One officer was Vanessa's father, Sergeant Klein. He recognized the setup, his face hardening as he arrested his own daughter. "Vanessa, what have you done?" Vanessa was expelled. Her crew scattered. Emily became a quiet hero, students nodding respectfully in the halls. She and Jake grew closer, their tech project evolving into a school-sanctioned anti-bullying app. But the drama deepened. Months later, Emily discovered a hidden file on Jake's computer transcripts from before the bathroom incident. He'd been monitoring her for weeks, not just bullies. "Jake, what is this?" She confronted him. Jake confessed. I liked you, Emily. From afar. I used the system to learn about you, to find a way to talk. When I saw them drag you, I had to act. Betrayal stung. Was their friendship built on surveillance? Emily stormed out, questioning everything. Twist. 2. Investigating further. Emily uncovered that Jake wasn't just a tech whiz, he was the son of a former FBI agent, relocated after a witness protection case. His project was inspired by his father's work, but he'd gone too far, invading privacy. Emily faced a choice: report him or forgive. In a heartfelt confrontation under the school's oak tree, Jake apologized. "I was wrong. I'll dismantle it." All. Emily, having grown stronger, forgave but set boundaries. "We rebuilt it together, ethically." Their bond strengthened, turning romantic. Westfield High changed, implementing real anti-bullying measures as winter blanketed Westfield High in a soft layer of snow. Emily's transformation continued to unfold, in ways she never anticipated, drawing her deeper into a web of unexpected alliances and hidden dangers that tested her newfound courage like never before. With Jake by her side, they expanded their anti-bullying app beyond the school's walls, pitching it to local community centers and even catching the eye of a tech startup incubator in nearby Columbus. Emily, once the girl who hid in shadows, now stood at the front of assemblies, sharing her story with a voice that no longer stuttered under pressure. Her words inspiring underclassmen who had suffered in silence. But beneath this surface of triumph, a new threat simmered, rumors of a copycat bully ring. Led by Vanessa's younger brother, Tyler, a freshman with a chip on his shoulder and access to his sister's old playbook, Tyler, fueled by family disgrace, began subtle harassments. Anonymous notes in lockers. Doctored photos circulating on social media, and whispers that painted Emily as the real villain who had ruined lives. Emily felt the familiar chill of fear, but this time she channeled it into action. Using the app's analytics to track patterns and predict escalations. One stormy evening, as thunder rumbled like distant radios crackling, Emily received a cryptic message on her phone. "The door swings both ways. Watch your back." Heart racing, she confided in Jake. Revealed another layer to his past. His father's FBI connections had left him with encrypted contacts, including a cybersecurity expert who could trace digital footprints. Together, they set a trap, hosting a fake online forum where Tyler's group unwittingly exposed themselves, boasting about their plans to sabotage the school's winter formal by framing Emily for vandalism. The night of the formal arrived. The gym transformed into a glittering wonderland of twinkling lights and swirling dresses, but tension hung thick in the air. Emily, in a borrowed gown that made her feel like a character from her fantasy novels, danced tentatively with Jake, their eyes scanning the crowd. Suddenly the lights flickered, and a projector beamed humiliating images onto the walls, altered photos of Emily from her trailer park days captioned with cruel mockery. Gasps rippled through the room, but Emily didn't crumble. Instead, she grabbed the microphone from the DJ booth, her voice steady as she declared, "This ends tonight. Bullying thrives in the dark, but we're shining a light." Jake, from the shadows, activated their countermeasures, a live feed from hidden cams revealing Tyler and his cronies in the act, broadcasting it school-wide via the app. Chaos erupted as chaperones intervened, radios crackling once more as police arrived, summoned by an anonymous alert. Tyler was detained, his operation dismantled, and in the interrogation that followed, he broke down. Admitting the pressure from his family's fall from grace, Sergeant Klein, Vanessa's father, stepped in personally, his stern demeanor cracking as he apologized to Emily for his daughter's actions and vowed to help reform his son. This victory wasn't just personal, it sparked a district-wide initiative. With Emily and Jake testifying before the school board, their app adopted as standard protocol. Through it all, Emily's relationship with Jake deepened, dated, evolving from tentative trust to a partnership built on mutual respect. Late-night coding sessions turning into stargazing dates where they dreamed of college scholarships in Silicon Valley. Yet the experience left Emily wiser. Understanding that justice wasn't a single swinging door, but a series of battles, each forging her into someone unbreakable. As spring approached, melting the snow and revealing new growth, Emily looked back on that fateful autumn day. Grateful for the crackle that had changed everything, turning a shy girl into a force of quiet revolution. Asterisk yet one final twist. Years. Later at graduation, a package arrived for Emily, an old radio scanner with a note, "Thanks for the inspiration, Anonymous." Inside was evidence that Vanessa, now reformed in juvie, had sent it, acknowledging her wrongs. Asterisk, Emily smiled, closing the chapter. Life moved on, but the crackle of radios and swinging doors reminded her, sometimes silence breaks with thunder. Hey, viewers, drop a comment below from which part of the country are you watching this video.